welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm using a different microphone, so please let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me okay. And also, let me type that in the chat box. Let me know if the audio is okay. Because I'm using a different microphone than what I normally use because I'm about to twist my hair. I'm about to twist my hair because tomorrow I'm going to go freestyling. I know where I want to go already. I just need to, it's this place where they have live music, and I need to make sure that, I just want to check the timing. I just want to check the timing on the bands because I think they have different bands, and I want to go to the earliest one possible because older guys usually go out earlier. They don't be out all night. You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested in meeting older guys, you have to make sure that you're somewhere early, like happy hour, lunch, breakfast. Older guys do not be out like all night on like a Saturday or Friday night. So that's definitely where I'm aiming towards. So I'm going to be trying to go earlier. Okay, you know what? Before I start twisting my hair, I'll tell you what I have assembled here. I have castor oil, rosemary essential oil. I have leave-in conditioner by Talia Walid, the aloe apple, and I have shea butter. And I'm about to twist my hair. But before I get into twisting my hair, let me pop into these questions real fast, and then we can just chat and let me know what y'all want to talk about. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I was gonna say that we could laugh at dust today, but I have a bunch of screenshots from different groups that I'm in of like dusty memes, and Pick Misha's basically co-signing what's inside these dusty memes. And then probably what I'm also gonna do is take a bunch of screenshots of Dustavius and Dustiana basically co-signing these dusty ass memes. But um it's been a hectic evening. We are doing two different sports right now with my little one. So I have sports almost every day, and then homework, dinner. It's just been a lot. I didn't have enough time to like edit all the pictures. I want to edit all the pictures, and then we could just put them in a laugh at them just for a chuckle. So I'll edit the title since we're not going to be laughing at dust too much today. Miami trip be postponed through the link. I'm super excited. Oh, she's talking about something. Okay, let me get into these questions. Okay, where are all my saved Q&A thoughts? Oh, that's not a question. That's something that I just wanted to say. Okay. Here's a funny one. Sort of funny. This is really like an important lesson learned. Okay. All right. This woman says, "What a day. Child, this lady ran off two potentials. Not one, but two. Young lady needed to jump her car. She has cables, so I jumped her car. After fumbling with the cables, a Mexican guy in a nice car, curly hair, combed back, well dressed, offered to help us. The lady, the lady said, 'Oh no, we got it.' Me, I'm like, 'No, I don't have a clue about what I'm doing.' The guy smiles and then gestured, 'May I?' as he's reaching towards her to get the cables, and the lady snapped on the gentleman so fast, saying, 'I got it,' as she jerked her hand holding I thought I heard a growl in it. Laughing emoji. Man put his hands up and walked away backwards and was out of there. Man number two, tall, fine, husky, older, late 50s white guy, well groomed, face silver hair, peach fisherman shirt, driving a huge maroon F 150 truck. He's smiling down, offers to help us. Oh, offers to help. She knocked the smile off that man's face so fast. I got it. I don't need your help. He asked, are you sure? I don't mind. Her, she says, I said I got it. I know what I'm doing. Still fumbling with the cables, head under the hood. The man squeezed my arm, gave me a little smile, and jogged out of there. I was trying to keep my composure, but I said, why didn't you let them help us, girl? You're running all the men away. Her mouth opened wide, so the next guy she let help, but he was an ashy clown and looked like he haven't combed his hair or washed his face since the beginning of COVID. Then she tell me, I don't let people touch my truck. The last time it cost my husband $400. Listen, the truck was tore up with missing cushions and no original seat covers on one hold on, and no original seat covers on one of the seats. The young lady had a missing front tooth, talking about some my husband. Jesus, fix it. Y'all, okay, so the moral of this story is pick Dustiana will tear you down. They will bring you down and they will block providers from you. So when you are, you know what I'm saying, when you're formulating your energy as to like who you choose to interface with, who you choose to be friends with, who you choose to have around you, you need to keep pick away from you. They're very dangerous. Like, I know this was kind of an innocent story, but there's another story from another YouTuber that I followed who was involved with the Pygmisha. She and the Pygmisha went out of town together, and this Pygmisha met some random guy, and she ended up getting they were staying in this like mansion Airbnb, and they had two king size beds. So she had a bed and her friend had a bed, and they had been there for a few days, and then she ends up meeting this random guy and brings him back to the Airbnb and sleeps with him with her in the room. So that's what pick do. They have no standards. That's pick and freak. Okay, they have no standards and they don't give a shit about your comfort. They don't care about your safety, right? Having a pick around you is a liability. It's a huge liability because this is the thing about me. Like, I don't want to have no friends who don't love themselves, because if you don't love yourself, that means that you can't take care of me. Because if you're not even willing to take care of yourself, you can't take care of me. If you're not willing to protect yourself, then you're a liability to me, not an asset. You understand? So, only thing that I would have told this lady is, if you need to think about yourself. Don't worry about the pick If the pick is growling and snarling at men, you need to just boot scoot yourself away, excuse yourself, and go talk to the guy one on one. Don't let an aggressive Mamiana keep you from a potential man that could be a blessing in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes we get wrapped up in the initial sisterhood loyalty, but we have to understand that all these females are not our sisters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she said, the lady's missing a tooth, the car is beat down, and she's talking about my husband, my husband. Like, girl, stop it. Just stop it. Okay, let me see what else I got in the queue. Okay. Online dating. No one leads to true connection. Seems most men chit chat and request. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, she says, I'm new to online dating, aka Bumble. I got so many matches, but none lead to true connection or dates. Seems most men chat a bit and then request my Instagram. After that, I feel taken for granted. How do you strategize? Well, I would not be giving out my social media online. You have to entice a man to actually get the date with you. So, this is why I discourage video chatting unless you live like in a different state. And then it should be a video date, not a video chat. And a video date is different, and I'll come back to that because I have some couple situations with video dates. Um, but yeah, I would not recommend giving out your social media to a guy that you're meeting online because you want to try to like what if he can find out your whole life story. He can find out what you like to eat, he can find out where you hang out, he can find out what church you go to, what school you graduated from, where's your hometown. He can find all of that on your Instagram account. So what is the point of taking you on a date? You know what I'm saying? All of that should be discussed over dinner, those types of things. So I wouldn't recommend giving out your Instagram or your social media or sending extra pics. I wouldn't recommend getting on the regular phone. I would recommend using the app voice feature. And I definitely wouldn't be having no hour long conversation, 30-minute conversation. I try to keep it to 5 minutes, and try to keep the conversation about activities, very activity rich. When he's like, oh, tell me your life story. Oh, we don't have enough time for that. It's probably getting late, but I'm sure we can, start breaking the ice over dinner sometime or, spending time face to face. Something like that. Kind of give him the cue to go ahead and invite you out on a date. Um, you don't want to be doing too much small talk on the app. I see so many women get stuck at small talk and they never can get past small talk. They never can get to the actual date. And I think a lot of times it's because it's just too much and it can be a little boring too. When you're like, "Oh, I had a hot dog and I had coffee earlier today and then I went to the store and then I went shopping and it's just like it's very mundane. It's not very alluring. So you don't want to get stuck in that like small talk. Let me tell you about my whole life. Let me give you a play by play of what I'm doing because it's hard to get out of that. So that is what I would say for that. So you can try that and see if it works. Um, um, I don't know if I did this on the last one because I did a dating chit chat not long ago, and I'm trying to remember if I did this question already. So usually when I'm on dating sites, I only go on there when I'm bored. But since I'm going into dating up lifestyle, it would be nice to have some tips in order to vet a potential man. How do you adjust your bio to state that you want to be spoiled? Oh, okay, no, I didn't do this one. How do you adjust your bio to state that you want to be spoiled, etc., without outright stating that that's what you're on there for? And also, how do you spot who exact is actually able to provide the lifestyle that you're after? Thanks so much for the help. Okay, so you say you only go on there when you're bored. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just looking at this lady's pictures. Okay, girl. I hear you, girl. You shouldn't have any problem attracting a nice guy. And she's a pretty lady. So, um, that much you got going for you. Okay, so you said you're when you're bored. Well, you kind of need to like have a target. You know what I'm saying? Based on your pictures, I'm gonna assume you're in your like 30s or early 40s. I don't know. Sometimes I'll be off. Okay, anywhere from late 20s to early 40s. That's a big range, but I don't really know. Um, how do you adjust your bio? Well, I really wouldn't say spoiled. I wouldn't say I'm looking for a generous man. I wouldn't say I want to be spoiled. I wouldn't say I'm a princess. I wouldn't say I want luxury. I wouldn't say anything along those lines. Um, I would say something about spontaneity, adventure, exploring, anything that sounds fun and exciting. Um, Anything that sounds fun and exciting. Things that are very lighthearted because then you seem a little bit more neutral, a little bit or alluring, and then allow your pictures to speak for you. So if you're looking for a luxury lifestyle, you want to make sure that your pictures are in luxurious settings. So five-star restaurants, five-star hotels, luxury vehicles, gardens, patios, rooftops, like nice areas, and then be well dressed, with well done makeup, not overdone, clownish, don't use filters. I think there might be one app that kind of like cleans up your pictures a little bit. I don't use any app, like I don't use any of that at all, but I do know some people who have done like face, God, what do you call it? Like it kind of like auto corrects your face and stuff, like a little bit, but just don't use filters. Like don't do anything that's going to make you look like a cartoon or that's going to make you look like an exaggerated version of yourself. Just be yourself and be beautiful. Wear nice clothes and be in a luxury environment. And that is going to speak for exactly what you're trying to say. And then how do you vet for men? Um, okay, so now as far as cars are concerned, I do use cars, but this is the thing. If he is posing by his car, like, ooh, look, I have a Mercedes. Ooh, look at me. I have a Maserati. Ooh, look at me. I would avoid guys like that. I would avoid guys like that because that's probably their prized possession. That's probably like really all they have going for themselves. You want to go for that guy who's in a really, really nice car and he's inside the car, but he's not showing the logo on the car. I hope I'm making sense. Like you can tell that the interior is a nice leather. You can tell if it's a sunroof or a convertible. You can tell, right? And so if he's in a nice car, but he's not showcasing the label, then it's not a big deal to him. And that's just something that he just has. So that's something that you can kind of tell, the guy has a nice car that he is not too wrapped up in, which is a good thing. Another thing is like the way they dress. You can kind of tell bummy guys, like even like regular schmegler, I'll take you to Applebee's types of guys. A lot of times they'll have on like skis or they'll have on like beanies. They'll have on ball caps sometimes. They'll have on t-shirts. They'll have like lots of shirtless pictures. Those are typically going to be your more bummy type of experiences, like just Applebee's, Chili's types of guys. That isn't to say they won't take you out and pay, but they're going to be trying to take you somewhere kind of cheap. So, somewhere that they can afford. So anyway, that's something. And then also when they're taking pictures inside their house, what is the environment? Is it nice? Are the fixtures nice? Is there marble? You know what I'm saying? Is there marble, hardwoods, or is it like ratty carpet with popcorn ceiling from the 80s and window air conditioners? Like look around in the environment and you can kind of see, if it's trashy or not. And then also if the picture looks like they're trying too hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at me at the golf course. Look at me at this restaurant. Look at me next to my Mercedes. Look at me here. Like 9 times out of 10, he really don't have it like that. He's trying to attract, if it looks like they're trying too hard, is he's trying to attract the woman that's out of his price league, so he's trying to lure her in with things that he thinks that she's looking for. And if you're a novice and you don't have that keen eye, then you're going to miss it, right? And you might fall for it and waste some precious time. So those little nuanced things, if he has a nice watch on, that's another way to know, like, okay, he's in a different caliber. Um, Let me see, what else do I kind of look for when I'm like just off of optics alone. when I'm like finding someone who has resources. Um, Look at the school that they went to. You know what I'm saying? Swipe right on all the Ivy League guys because 9 times out of 10 he has a good job or he started a company or something. So swipe right on all the Ivy League guys. Swipe right on all the like tech guys like Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, um MIT, all those types of schools, swipe right on those because 9 times out of 10 they're doing good. State schools and community colleges, you really need to think about that. I'm not saying eliminate them, but scrutinize them a little bit harder. Like don't swipe right automatically, like look a little bit harder and see exactly what's going on. So hopefully that will at least give you some bare bones as to what you can look for to try to vet the guys initially. And then after you swipe right on them and you guys connect, um, he should be basically like leaning towards asking you for a date. If he's really gross, like, oh, hi, sexy, and all of this and that, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a good deal for you. So I would just abort the mission. He should be respectful. A man who's trying to impress you is going to be respectful. He's not going to want to offend you because he's not going to want to run you away. If he's dusty and slinging his peen all over town, all over the US, all over the world, he doesn't care if he offends you because he's sending like 1,000 women hi sexy. So he feels like if I send 1,000 women a message that says hi sexy, surely a handful of them will give me a shot. So you want to kind of go off of their communication initially. Like they should be respectful. They should be kind of they should be willing to accommodate your comfort level. So if you don't want to talk on the phone and you want to talk on the app, they should be accommodate that. If they're pushing your boundary from the very beginning, I would probably abort the mission. I would give them a couple of tries, like, well, no, I really prefer this. No, no, seriously, I really prefer this. And if they're still pushing back on it, just abort the mission because it won't be worth it. If they can't respect your boundaries at the onset of the interaction, it's gonna only go downhill from that. A man always gives you his best first. Always. He always gives you his best first. So if his best is piss poor, I would just abort the mission. It wouldn't be worth it. So let him lead the way, let him make the date. He should be willing to accommodate. Now, it's always great when they offer something that's amazing the first time around, or if they tell you, I'll take you anywhere you want to go, that's good too. If they tell you, I'll take you anywhere you want to go, you pick a place, that isn't necessarily being lazy because some women have said like, oh, he's too lazy to pick a place. Sometimes it's not a man being lazy, it's just he doesn't want to mess up. He is really trying to impress you and he just wants to do whatever it takes to make you happy. So if you pick the best steakhouse in the town, he's like, that's fine, I'll make reservations. Now once you pick your place, the next sentence out of his mouth is, I'll make reservations. When are you available? He should be on it. And that's how you vet out. Like if it's pulling teeth to get on a date, if it's pulling teeth to make him act respectfully, if it's pulling teeth for him to initiate interaction and conversation, then that's automatic vetting. Like they've already eliminated themselves. So you don't need to sit there and analyze and overanalyze and try to understand and wonder why. Just delete and move on to the next target, move on to the next potential person. Because you don't want to spend too much time lamenting over any one bandit online because I promise you it's a mixed bag out there and it can get kind of crazy. So that's going to be your initial vetting by conversation and by looking at what they have to offer, like what the visuals are on their profile. And okay, Lexi says, do you give a potential provider your number if he asks? No, Lexi, you don't. You don't give your number until he takes you out on a date. I mean, it depends. Like, if he lives out of town and he's traveling to see you, then maybe you give him your number. But a lot of times, guys just collect numbers online and it's very easy for them because a lot of women don't. So they're like, oh, let's get off the app and text. Like, what has he done to earn to be inside of your phone? You know, being inside of your phone, having the ability to call you, you pick up the phone and them hear your voice, that's very special. You understand? That's very special. Not every man that you talk to, not every man that swipes on you gets the privilege of having your phone number and being able to call you. So, unless he takes you on a date, I would not be giving out my phone number. No. Mm-mm. And even whenever they get my phone number, it's not my real phone number, it's my internet phone number. I would have to go out with them several times before I would give them the other number. So it's layers, and it's very important that you create barriers and layers to your heart so that your heart is not on the table for the taking, for any random person to just come by and have access to the innermost workings of you. You know what I'm saying? The essence of you, that you're just, oh, I just lead with my heart, I do what I feel, and oh, I just go with the flow. Like, no, you don't go with the flow until all the business is taken care of, until you do your due diligence, you do your research, and yourself. You don't give it all to, someone on the external. Tips for doing inner trauma work successfully. Lexi, I have a live that's coming up, um, that I'm going to be talking about, talk therapy versus trauma work. So I'm going to table that question until then. But in the meantime, between time, you can check out the series that I did on learning to receive. I think maybe the second to the last one, or the last one that I did, was on inner child work. And I think that there's some book resources in there as well. So I would refer you to that video and into the comment section to get the book recommendations. Um, I'm saying a burner number, not the real one. Yeah, no, I still wouldn't give them the burner number. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give out my phone number until I go on a date, because otherwise, what's the point of taking you on a date? Okay, let me see if I have any more questions in there. Um. Oh yeah, I already answered the question about PayPal on the last video. I think I already asked that one. If a man has a very masculine mother, in what ways will this affect him? He's going to want you to work your fingers to the bone. How do you handle friends who don't currently practice hypergamy? My good friend is stunning and very leveled up on the outside. Beautiful, slender, long hair, drives a Range Rover, designer wardrobe. Have a provider, and then fell in love with a Dusty, and now is unhappy and unhappily married while helping him build his business. I feel like deep down, especially since she likes the finer things in life, she regrets this. Meanwhile, she is preaching things like men care more about confidence than looks. Then the next topic is about her Botox lip filters. What would you do? um I just wouldn't talk to her about her Dusty. That's what I would do. Because if she's married, it is what it is. She chose her path. So if she ever tried to go down the path of talking about the Dusty, I would just disengage and change the subject to something else. Like, I wouldn't even want to talk about that. Like, that's her choice. That's what she chose. So until she's ready, or to if she's ever ready to leave him, then that's fine. We could talk about it. But if you're going to stay with him, then I'm just not going to talk. Okay. More MK says, what app do I find the most results? Right now I'm using Bumble, and it's pretty good. I mean, it's got everything on there. It's like starting to become Tinder, because Tinder in my area got really ratchet. Just like super, super, super ratchet. Like I haven't been on Tinder in over a year. So, but Bumble is starting to get a little bit ratchet too. So, I have the premium version. I don't know if I'm going to upgrade it. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to renew it or not. I used to use Hinge a lot. I don't use Hinge as much, and I didn't renew my subscription to that, so I'm just using the free version. But it's fine for the way I'm using it, because I don't like guys. I just respond to guys that like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like them. I just respond to the ones who like me. So that's better for me, because I would prefer that if a guy is talking to me, that I know that he like me first. So, I've heard good things about Match, which I started doing a profile, got distracted, and didn't keep doing it. I've heard good things about Luxy. I've heard good things and bad things about Luxy. Um, I don't know if the league is still around, but in my city, it was complete trash. I mean, complete trash. So, um, I don't know if it's still around or what, but I feel like people in other cities said that they liked the league, but in my city, my experience, and the few handful of people that I knew that were on there, they were like, it's trash. I above and beyond to try to make it so exclusive and so this and that, to where people can't even navigate the app, you know? All right, Lexi says, if a potential asks you out on a date, how do you stay in contact to confirm the reservation? If he asks you on a date, you just coordinate everything through the app. I mean, if you met him out on the app. Okay, so Lexi, let me just that's probably a good question. So okay, so like if you're out freestyling and you meet a guy and he buys you a drink, then you can give him your number. Okay, so I don't know if you're talking about online dating. Like if you're out freestyling and you meet a guy, then and he seems like he's going to be, an interesting person to get to know, then yeah, give him your number. Definitely don't take his. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Um if you meet him in person, then yeah, if you feel like he would be a good person to meet, then you can give him your number. But try not to chit chat too much. Try not to have no long drawn out conversation. Try to keep it under 5 minutes. And then just let him know. Thank you so much for encouraging folks to like the video. I really appreciate it, Um, what was I saying? Yeah, just tell him, like, I don't know. I could be a little bit extra, but when I go out and a guy asks me for my number, if I give you my number, what are you gonna do with it? I'm not suggesting that you necessarily do that. That's a very me thing, and maybe it's a little bit extra, but that's what I do. I'm like, if I give you my number, what you gonna do with it? If he tells me, well, I just want to call and get to know you better, then I'm like, okay. Well, it was nice to meet you. Like I'm gonna keep it moving. If a man has to tell me I want to take you out on a date, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, sure, and then I'll give him my number. But I'm not about to give you my number so you can WYD me to damn death. That's what we not fins to do. Okay, we not fins to do that. You're not about to put me in your rotation of good morning, beautiful, good morning, beautiful, that you send to 10 other women. So that's me, girl, because I be kind of extra. I just ask him, what you going to do with this number? Now, if I meet him online, I won't give him my number until we go out. But if I meet him in person, if he gives me the right answer, then I'll give him my number. But he has to answer that question correctly because I'm not about to waste my time. And I don't want somebody just contacting me. I don't want somebody just collecting my number for collection's sake to be like, oh, I still got it. That person could be married or anything else. You know what I'm saying? Guys do shit like that. They'll be married or unavailable and they'll see a really beautiful woman and they'll try to get her number just to see if they still got it. They don't have no intentions of doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? They'll just do that just to waste your time. So if he don't answer that question correctly, I'm not giving him my number. I'm not about to chat back and forth. How are you doing? What are you doing today? What are you up to? What are you up to? WYD. I'm not answering none of those questions. They'll be like, they'll hit me up on the app and they're like, oh, what are you doing? Or something like that. Or how was your day today? And if I haven't talked to them on the phone, like, or on the app, I'll be like, yeah, I'm open to a voice chat, because I'm trying to move things to the next stage. Because if it's gonna remain in the chit chat stage in perpetuity, I'm out because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be in the chit chat stage forever. So if you're not picking up what I'm serving, if you're not taking a hint and taking initiative to book a date with me, then I'm just going to move on because guys will stay in that area of time as long as you allow them to. Because sometimes they'll have you in a holding pattern because they'll have something else going on in a whole nother situation. You know what I'm saying? But they want to have, like, men always have, women in the queue. So they might be chit chatting with you with absolutely no intention of taking you out on a date anytime in the near future because they have something else going on or whatever the case may be. And here you are waiting on a date. So if the timing is not right, then the timing is not right. You have to have the discernment and the ability to be able to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to go, and when to kind of prompt them to do the next step. Um, I wouldn't give out my number unless he gives me money. I've had men pay for my groceries and give me money as well. Okay, awesome sauce. Should I charge men for my number to weed out fake providers? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, it depends on where you are and it depends on, is it a trick? Is it a sugar daddy? Is it a potential husband? So you kind of need to know what you're working with. If it's a trick, sure, charge them for your number. But, I don't know what you're trying to do exactly because you kind of have to, you kind of have to get investment in a graceful manner, from a generous man. So, because there's a lot of men who they will be very generous, but they're not going to pay you for your number. But, they might, get you a dress or, take you to your favorite restaurant, take you to a house and, pay for your Uber, pay for your valet or whatever it is that you need. And then, from there, you have the potential to build up, um, a good relationship with them. But I can see a lot of guys being turned off by being asked to pay for a phone number. So you kind of have to have a way to weed guys out, but do it gracefully so that way you don't run off a good guy. You're just looking for a sugar daddy. Um, it depends on where you are, but I still, I mean, like, are you like 20? I don't know. I think it would be hard to ask for money for your phone number. I think it would be hard to do that, even if you're trying to get a sugar daddy. Now, something can come up pretty quickly. Like once you go on your date, or, you connect with him, something could come up pretty quickly as far as needing resources. But I don't know. I think that guys would feel icky about someone asking them to pay for their number, for your number. I mean, I've done that before to make a Dusty leave me alone. Like he asked me for my number and I asked him for some money and he ran away. This man ran he ran away. So I asked him for money to scare him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, girl. I guess you can try it and see if it works, but I'm not looking, it's not looking too, like, I don't know if that's going to be a good 19. No, I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you, no, don't do that. I mean, maybe if you're in the strip club, that might work. Yeah, I think if you're in the strip club, that would work. Or if you were at a place where sugar babies frequented, like a particular hotel or something, that might work. But like just out in general population, just like in a general club, bar, Whole Foods, the museum, an art gallery, the opera, a golf course, I don't think that would work. And you could be blowing a bag. Don't think so short term. I think younger ladies think very short term. They're like, I want the money now. I'm gonna grab and go. Like I'm gonna snatch the bag and run away. Don't think about just a fast grab. Think about a good, stable situation for yourself. Like, you kind of have to find that fine line of building up, communication over time. Not too much time, but not too little time either. But the sweet spot. Is any tips on overcoming shyness when it comes to dating? Mocha Mommy did a really good panel on overcoming shyness not long ago. So I think you could, if you go to Mocha Mommy's channel, you could get some tips on overcoming shyness. And I think a lot of that can be applied to dating. I think a lot of what was said can be applied to dating. So that's what I would do. And then the shyness is about your confidence. So don't focus on not being shy, just focus on becoming more confident. So in order to become more confident, you have to kind of study yourself and know what your strong points are. So that way you could play it up. Whatever you're strong about, try to play that part up. Whatever it is, don't focus on your weaknesses, focus on your, you have a cute laugh, are you funny? Are you sweet? Because the thing about it is, like, when you're dating, you really don't have to do a lot of talking. You really mostly need to be a good interviewer. Men like to hear their own voice. So you just need to ask him questions about him. You really don't even need to really talk about yourself that much, at least not initially, The less you talk about yourself, the better. So I think I would practice maybe just meeting new people in general and building up my confidence level. Maybe like joining a group, or even if it's like an online group where you have to speak, maybe like a book club or something, just something to where you have to meet new people and talk, and then focus on the things that are your strengths, and then learn how to be a good interviewer. you know School, like, what did you do when you were there? Like, what was your favorite subject in school, and how's everything been working out for you? And where was your last trip? What's on your bucket list? Just literally write down about 20 to 50 questions that you can ask a guy. And when he finishes answering the question, just ask another one. And then after he talks about himself for an hour, he's going to be like, man, I really like her. And you didn't even say anything, really. So yeah, just write down some questions so that you can become really, really familiar with them. So you always have conversation and that you're just like your go-to questions. Because you can ask the same guys the same questions. I mean, you can ask different guys the same questions. That's what I meant to say. Um, Corey says, I live in a predominantly white town with a small black community, over 2,000. How would a black woman my age feel about being approached by a white man 51 years old? I don't know. I don't know where you live. But one thing I do know is that things are changing, like I feel like just within the last 5 years, maybe even less, um, white men are more black women are dating outside, like they're dating non-black men. But some black men, especially, I mean, some white men, especially some older ones, they still are a little bit more timid because it has been a little bit hostile in the past, like a black woman being standoffish because they didn't date, they only dated black men. So now it's really on the white guys to just make conversation. Don't be creepy. Just make conversation and make it very obvious that you want to pursue dating her. Because I think that most black women are used to be men being very direct, not pushy or rude, but just very clear. Like, I would love to take you to dinner one day. Just make it simple, make it plain. That way she knows exactly what you want. So I think somebody approaching and making starting up a conversation and then saying, hey, I'd like to take you out sometime. I think that would be well received. And even if it's not, you just move on to the next one. Just find another woman to ask her. Keep on asking until you find somebody that says yes. you know, Someone that you're attracted to. Lexi says, I would like a provider to take care of me because I work long hours as a teenager and I want to finally relax. Yeah, I would just start trying to relax now. Um, I would try to do everything that you want a man to do for you. I would try to do it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you want a man to do for you, try to do it yourself. You want to relax, find a way right now in your current situation to find relaxation. Find somewhere that you can do a staycation. Look on Groupon in your city and see if you see any staycation opportunities that are really affordable that you can afford yourself. Because trust me, you're going to be much more successful when you really start dating providers and start moving into different circles when you don't have that desperation on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need this. I need this for this. I need this for that. I need this for that. Like, you're going to be like, I'm already doing it and this is just my lifestyle. Right? I need this is what I already do. I'm already like a woman who's relaxed. I'm a woman who travels. I'm a woman who's provided for. And so obviously I'm going to expect that of my man. Obviously. You kind of want to go into it with that kind of attitude, an attitude of lifestyle. Because I'm telling y'all, all that glitters is not gold. There's a situation where I thought somebody was getting totally taken care of, and that was so not the case. And she just feels like she has to do this and she has to do that to keep what she has. It's like your fist is clenched around what you think you have to where you're not able to get anything else. You know what I'm saying? You're not able to attract better, more, you know, like you can't enforce your standards because you're afraid of this and this and that. That's a bad situation to be in for a woman. You never want to be in a situation where you're dependent on someone to the point where you cannot enforce your standards. No, your standards need to always be enforceable. And when I say enforceable, I mean sometimes it's just literally withdrawing yourself from the situation, turning inward, turning in to do like your own self care or just being able to dip. Like as women, we need to be able to dip if it's not meeting our standards. If a man is not trying to please you, I mean, yes, on day one, on day 10, on day 365, on day 565, he should be trying to please you within reason. Obviously, if you say, I want you to take me to Mars, he might not be able to do that. But I'm talking about just the simple shit that he can do. If you have something that is within his reach to do for you, or maybe something that's just outside his reach, because sometimes you need to challenge men too, right? Like maybe he needs to get a promotion to get you the house that you want. Maybe he needs to open up a new business, to take things to the next level. So things that are within his reach and things that are just outside his reach, that's going to push him to keep striving. But if you are requesting those kinds of things of him and he's constantly telling you no, what he can't do, what he not going to do, and da 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 da, and it's like, this is the thing, like if you cut him off, if you're like, well, I'm never going to ever sleep with you again, watch how fast he break up with you. He wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, oh, that's because why? That's a requirement in his mind. Like, no, physicality is a requirement of any relationship that I'm in. And he's not going to lose no sleep about it. He's not going to toss and turn about it. You're out the door. He's moving on. But I see so many women, throwing out their needs and their desires from a relationship, and they're sacrificing and suffering in silence because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want, him to leave or whatever. I'm like, girl, mm-mm. Even in my worst moment, I'm always been independent. That's the best way to do it. To where you need him, but not in a desperate way. You need him on a energy level, right? But not literally. Not literally. Um, how should I look for how should I look for a man to approach? I know looks matter. How should you look? Look classy, and wherever you're gonna go, just go people watch and see what people wear. See what people wear to those types of venues. So that way you look like you fit in, and maybe just do it up a little bit more so that you have something that'll kind of stand out. But with you being so young, it's probably hard for you to kind of make it elegant. It's going to be harder for you to make it elegant being young. So I don't know if you wear like young people styles and stuff. And I don't know how old you're trying to go either. But depending on what venue or what establishment you're going to, you want to make sure that you're, looking as elegant as you can, So you might, have to kind of push out of your boundaries a little bit with like your clothing selection. You might have to kind of push out of your boundaries, and you might not be looking like, friends your own age. You want to change your style. Okay. Yeah. There's some really good stylists on Instagram that you can follow. And there's pages, gosh, I wish I can remember the name of them. I think there's one called Divine Femininity Queen. I think she has some cute stuff on styling that you can follow her. There's a woman on Instagram called Styled by Prissy Cocos, and she has some really good clothes. And she also has like a styling service too. So if you are interested in getting like the style service where you can tell her your measurements, and basically she will email you links to clothes. You can tell her, hey, I'm going for this vibe. and send your size and your measurements, and then she'll send you outfit ideas. And so then you can either get those and you can kind of build your, start building your wardrobe over again to dress like in the way that you want to dress. What stores to shop at? Yeah, I was talking about stores on my last live. Nordstrom Rack is a good one. Bloomingdale's Outlet is a good one. And Off Saks Fifth Avenue is a good one. So those are places that you can look. I just was looking on BB earlier today, and they have some really cute BB. I think BB's good because they have some kind of like, I don't know if I would call them young looking clothes. I don't know. Like they don't look frumpy, but they look also elegant. Like they do look better than Fashion Nova clothes. They do look better than Pretty Young Things and Chic Me and all of that. Because like sometimes I'm so tempted to buy fast fashion because like I get the ads like everybody else, like to Chic Me and Shein and Fashion Nova and all of that. But I just think to myself, like, okay, how many times am I going to be able to wash this dress before it starts tearing up? And for the same amount of money, I could probably, go to Lord and Taylor clearance, or I could, you know what I'm saying? I could go to Nordstrom Rack or something like that and get something a little bit better quality. TJ Maxx is good for some things. Florida is Walmart casual. Well, I've seen some Florida girls dress pretty casually. Or like, I don't know that I would say casual, but kind of just like not basic, but just what's the word? Those dresses that a lot of those girls wear, I don't know. I think it would be easy to stand out though. Depending on what circle you're in, it would be easy to stand. It would be easy to set yourself apart from the pack based on how you um, decide to dress or whatever. I don't want to date guys my age. Yeah, but girl, some of y'all young folks be thinking men are old who are not old. So you're 19. You probably think somebody 35 is old. And in my mind, a 35-year-old guy is a kid. So, age is relative. Relative is relative. So, you know. Okay, so what I wanted to tell y'all about the whole video date thing is I have my dating app. Okay, 50 and older. Okay, that's good. That's good. 50 and older is good. Yeah. You definitely need to if you have the time, like when you're doing your makeup and stuff in the morning, listen to Shira's old videos from like 2, 3 years ago. That's a good time frame to listen. Listen to Shira's videos and you just reprogram your mind and learn how to have different conversation, know how to have different comebacks, different, how to maneuver things, how to get the situation that you need. So I would definitely recommend that you listen to Shira's videos from like 2, 3 years ago. Every day. When you get up in the morning and you do your makeup, listen to Shira's videos. Okay. All right. So right now I have both of my apps set to travel in two different areas. And I'm connecting with guys in this area. I'm starting to have conversations. And there's a couple guys who, I wasn't really, I was just kind of like, I'm not sure. Talk about vetting. We could talk about vetting. So, one of them I had a voice conversation with, and he was a little bit sleazy, but I got him together, and I basically was like, well, listen, all I want is to just a date. I don't want anything else. I don't want anything else. I'm not that type of person or whatever. He was like, I understand. Woo, 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 blah, 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 blah. I want to take you out. I want to take you out. I'm like, okay. So we're still chatting and talking. And he's like, well, I want to talk. He's like, I want to talk on video or something. And I'm like, well, I would be willing to do video if I said if chocolate and wine is involved. And he was like, to be stupid. Guys will do stuff like this. He's pretending to be stupid. Um, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so sexy. I can't wait. And then he messaged me again. So, video tonight. And I said, hey, I would be willing to talk to you by video if chocolate and wine is provided. He's like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And I'm like, well, I don't know if you can make arrangements for that. So he unmatched me. And then this other guy wanted to talk to me on video, and I pretty much told him the same thing. He asked me if I was looking for a sugar daddy, and I was like, what is that? I said, what is that? And what did he say? I think he said something along the lines of, come to my state and I'll get you the wine and the and the chocolate. So I just unmatched him because he was pretending to be stupid. And then another guy, similar thing. So that's a good way to weed people out. Like, you want something from me, right? You want me to do a video call with you. That's what you want. And I'm telling you what I want, but you're not willing to give me a fair exchange, then that's already the answer. Now, asking for cash for your phone number is a little, right? But it's a similar vetting process. So I'm asking a man to do something for me to make me know that he is ready to invest the bare minimum in me, because you can get wine and chocolate for probably $40. You know what I'm saying? Maybe $50, depending on, is it a Godiva? Is it an expensive bottle of wine? But you can get a decent bottle of wine and a decent amount of chocolate for like $40. So if he's not willing to spend $40, that is not a good sign. That is a sign that he is ready to waste as much time as you give. You understand? Like, as much time as you give him, he will waste it. So, you know, they basically eliminated themselves. So it wasn't even anything that I really had to just sit up there and think about. Will Shira freestyling tips apply for today? I don't think so. I think some of the tips might be for this freestyling, some of it might be a little bit dated. Some of her freestyling might be just a little bit dated. Um, I would focus on the money conversations. I would focus on the clapbacks, the game, the fantasy. I would focus on that when it comes to Shira more so than the freestyling. So, you know. Hey, smiles for you. Hey, girl, hey. Just to let y'all know, I am twisting my hair. And I'm about to prep my nails for tomorrow because I'm going freestyling tomorrow, and I might go on a date. I don't know. This guy asked me out, and I asked him what did he have in mind, and he's talking about he wanted to go to this movie thing, and I really don't want to do that. I don't like movies. That's not really my thing. I don't like movies. And I looked on there, and the most expensive tickets were like $20. I was like, I'm not really feeling this. I just feel like I can do better. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I can have a more lucrative night. So I'm going to go freestyling tomorrow. I I may meet him for a drink. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm leaning towards no. I'm leaning towards no, just for the simple fact of I'm going to be going all the way on the north side of town, like where he lives. All he has to do is roll out of the bed, It's in his neighborhood. Roll to the movies, spend $20. I'm just like, and I have to do childcare. I got to drive 45 minutes to drop off my daughter. I got to get up early in the morning to go to our sports games. And I have all this to do. And it's like, it's not even, it's not equal. And you want to take me to a movie and I don't even like movies? I don't know. It's one of those situations where I just rather go freestyling and see if I can find a better situation for myself. A different crowd, an older guy, like just something better. Because that is not appealing to me. I like to ask a guy what he has in mind because I want to know what is he working with. I like movies, but I prefer going by myself. Yeah, me too. I like watching like documentaries like on Netflix, you know, or something by myself or Amazon Prime or something. I don't want to I don't yeah, I just don't like that. I'm not like a big movie person. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like he would be doing this anyway, right? He would be going with or without me and I would just like I'm just tagging along. But I don't think that he's thinking about what do I want to do? What can I do to impress her? I think he's just like, oh, this is what I want to do anyway. And it would be nice to have a beautiful companion join me because I was going to go to the movies on Friday any damn way. Yes, freestyling for sure. Yeah, I'm going to this place where a lot of older people go. I went on this date with this guy there a while ago and I saw so many old people in there. And I was like, I'm coming back here to freestyle. That's the great thing about going different places with dates because you can scope out like going back either by yourself or you know what I'm saying for freestyling purposes or with your girlfriends or whatever. So this was a while that we had went to this place for dinner, but they have like a whole area in there where they have live bands. So I don't like this place is expensive. I'm not going to like order a whole dinner, but I'll probably order appetizer and a couple drinks and just chill in there and hopefully mingle with some old people. um any up-to-date freestyling tips that I can think of? You can check out Commanda. You can check out Commanda's page. I know she talks a lot about freestyling. So that would be a good person to check out. What to do, where to go. And then also, if you can find like whatever city you are in, like do not post your city in my chat because I want you ladies to stay safe. So don't post it, but just think in your mind, like wherever your city is, try to find a local like sugar baby. Try to find a local sugar baby, like search Instagram or Facebook. Like like let's say you lived in Toronto, Canada. Go on YouTube and look for Toronto sugar baby. You know, sh- Toronto, a Toronto sugar baby is probably going to be talking about all kinds of travel and different things and this and that, but she's probably going to be posting on like what's popping in Toronto, like where to go in Toronto for sugaring or for meeting, wealthy guys or whatever. That's what I would recommend on that. Um, any 2021 freestyling tips? Yes, the game and strategies are still relevant. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, how much of my head do I have left? I have about 40% of my hair to twist. I'm getting tired, y'all. What's the Instagram page again for the freestyling tips? Um, Send me a message on Instagram, girl. Are you on the Discord? Cuz I can send it to you. I need to look up that lady's exact page though. I know her name, but either send me a message on Instagram or on the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, you have to send a message on Instagram because I want to make sure that everybody is safe. There's no drama. There's no bandits. There's no men at all. So you will be safe. That is my prayer. That's my intention. Y'all, I got 40% of my hair to do. And then I still need to prep my nails for tomorrow because tomorrow I have a lot to do. Man, if I could really get my life together, I would go to two different places to freestyle. I would literally go to two different places. And I might try to do that. I might go to a 5-star hotel, bar, and restaurant, and then go to the other place just so that I can try to maximize my time. Because I don't have a lot of child free time. I need to get it's almost Christmas. I need to get my wish list together. I need to get what I want my guys to get me. I was thinking about that. And Savage X Fenty is about to have a fashion show. So I'm about to get some Savage X Fenty. Hello. I'm about to get a whole wish list together. Babe, I want this. Babe, I want that. Babe, I want that. I want that. I want that. And then I think it's YSL has a new fragrance out. I said I was going to go try it. I was going to go smell it. And if I like it, I'll probably conveniently need to go to the mall or conveniently need to go to Sephora with one of my guys and be like, "Oh, this new YSL fragrance, I really need this." When you freestyle, do you mingle with men or wait for one to approach? I might do small talk if it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're coming up to order a drink, and they might ask me what I'm drinking, or if they say, "Oh, I wanted this," I'm like, "Oh, good choice." You know what I'm saying? And then from there, they will start a conversation. So, you can find little ways to kind of like basically give a guy the green light to start up a conversation with you without you going up and be like, "Hi, my name is Barbara Ann, and nice to meet you. What's your name?" Because that's very masculine, right? That's very masculine. So you kind of have to find a feminine way to basically initiate some conversation, or wave or smile at your eyes, or somehow just indicate, "Hey, if you come talk to me, I'm going to be um, open to talking to you." Because a lot of times guys don't talk to us because they're afraid of rejection, right? So if you're sitting way across the room and you're by yourself and it's just so obvious, if he were to trek all the way across the room and try to talk to you, and let's say you reject him and you're like, "No, I got a man," or "No, I'm not interested," or "No, whatever," then he has to take the walk of shame back, to his area. And everybody pretty much knows he got rejected. So that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of the walk of shame. So if you can kind of show him like, "Hey, I'm totally open to talking to you," some way, shape, or form, if you can do that, then they're going to be more likely to, come talk to you and initiate conversation. So those are some things that you can do. You can raise your glass. Like if you got a drink and then a guy gets a drink, just raise your glass. Like cheers. Like you don't even have to say it, but just like, like just gesture and then just smile and look away. Like look down and away. 9 times out of 10, they're going to come talk to you. So, yeah. Last time I went out, It was really random. Like one of the guys that I talked to, I mean, we really hung out in forever. But if I really need something, I'm like, babe, I really need this, or babe, I need that. He'll send me something, but I don't even really see him. So I went shopping and then I went to go get something to eat. And I was like, well, let me just check out this restaurant because I'd heard good things about it. So he calls me out the blue and I'm like, hey, I'm not too far, from you. Um, and he's like, oh, I want to stop by and see you. So he just stopped by and said hi and paid for my food. So you just never know, girl. You just never know. Get you a roster, girl. A roster in 2021 is very necessary. It's very, very necessary. One of the girls in our group, she fell off the level up. Like, not the Discord. It's another group that I'm in that's totally unrelated to Afrocentric women. But she ended up falling off the bandwagon and she ended up falling for a Dusty. So she said she was going to kind of explain what happened, but everybody's curious. Like, everybody wants to know what happened. How did you get caught up with a Dusty after, being taken care of, going out with guys that can take you on trips? And, there's been guys that have paid for cosmetic surgery. Like, what is going on? Like, how did you backtrack? How did you backslide? What happened? So, once she lets me know, I want to make sure that my community knows what to look out for so that you don't end up falling for a Dusty, and that you stay on the level up and you keep your standards high. Don't lower your standards. Because I was thinking about that, today when I was, in the situation talking with my other friend about, her standards basically, and feeling kind of stuck and like, well, I can't rock the boat. I can't do anything. I can't make him mad. And, it just made me think that I maybe, okay, what am I trying to say here? I end up having to walk away from a lot of situations. You know what I'm saying? I have to walk away from a lot of situations because I'm not willing to bend on some things. Now, some guys are able to stick around. I mean, I've had like the guy that I'm telling you about, the one who gives me stuff all like whenever I ask. He's been around for about a year and a half, you know? So some guys have what it takes to stay around, is what I'm saying. Some guys don't. Some guys have what it takes, some guys don't. But would I be like, oh, I really want this guy to stick around, so let me lower my standards? No, I'm not going to do that. So, to some extent, it's a somewhat more lonely road. But then again, it's only lonely if you don't like your own company, which I really like my own company. So I don't feel lonely. And I genuinely like doing stuff by myself sometimes. And I like to take care of myself. And I can sit with my own self, and I spend so much time leveling up. And plus, also the way my mom raised me, I would never be in a situation where, yes, I want my man to pay all my bills, but it's not because I'm broke. It's not because I can't pay my bills. It's because if I'm with you, I don't want to pay bills, pretty much. It's not that I can't, it's that I don't want to. Because having a man is a full-time job. It's work. It is work. And that's how I see it. That's been my experience. Like, having a man is work. Men expect a lot of support, a lot of support, a lot of emotional support. They expect you to be beautiful all the time. You have to maintain that. It's a lot of work. And so, for that reason, that's why I don't like paying bills, because you are like my job, pretty much. So, You should just pay me. If you pay a waitress, you should pay me. I'm serving you food. uh, you should pay me too. Um, High school doesn't really count. Okay, y'all might be having a separate conversation. I have no dating experience, just gathering info. LOL. Well, girl, going from no dating to dating a 50-year-old, you might be jumping the gun. You might need to biggity back that thing up, girl. Because if you don't have any dating experience, you darn sure don't need to be interfacing with no 50-year-old man, girl. I don't think I recommend that. You need to get some experience before you try to jump into the big leagues. Um, I like how you think everyone's. Oh, thank you, Smiles for you. Thank you. Girl, we all trying to get to the bag over here. Okay, we're trying to get to a comfortable situation, one way or another, and we'll get there. It just, it just takes time, and our quality over quantity, is very important. Quality over quantity. Um, yeah, it's essential. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're compromising your standards and doing all these acrobatics just because you want to try to keep a guy or something like that. Hey, sissy. Girl, let me make you a daggone moderator. I've been meaning to do it. You got your wrench, girl. You got your wrench. Oh, somebody else came onto the live today. I wanted to give them a wrench, but I don't think she could make it today. Sissy, we just chatting. We ain't really, we just chatting about dating and navigating different situations. We're talking about what else are we talking about? Dating, freestyling. We talked about freestyling and all of that jazz. I'm going freestyling tomorrow. I have somewhat of a game plan of what I'm going to do tomorrow. Now, another guy asked me out on Saturday, and I was going to take my daughter to this like drop-in kids thing. It's like a parents night out thing, but I don't know. I trust my intuition. And I was gonna call because today, is it today? No, it was yesterday. Yesterday was the last day to sign up. And no. Well, today, okay, no, yesterday, because today is a due date. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday was because today is the morning. So basically earlier today was the last day to sign up. And I was literally about to call them, and then I just got this feeling in my body like, nope, don't send her there. So I was like, okay, well, that's out. I don't know why I had that feeling, but I just did. Do not send her to that thing. So unless he wants to get a nanny, I'm not going out. I'm not going out. Now, I really do need him to wash my car and haul some stuff up 3 flights of stairs. So I kind of like want him to come and do that, but I feel like I just don't want all the extra rigmarole conversation about why I'm not fenced to do this and I'm not fenced to do that. So I have to think about things. Now, it would be great if I could do this during the day, but I don't introduce guys to my daughter. She's that's just something that I'm not like if unless it gets to the point where it's going to be serious or we're going to be committed, I'm not going to introduce her. So, although I would love for him to take care of those things tomorrow or rather on Saturday, I don't visualize. I don't see how I'm going to make it happen. I really just don't. Body, feeling, intuition. Listen to it. Yeah, I did. I listened to it. And I just said straight up, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I'm not going to send my daughter anywhere that I don't feel comfortable with. I have to keep her safe. I have to. So, no, he might just have to wait until the weekday, maybe Wednesday, because I think he's off on Wednesdays anyway. So maybe on Wednesday we can have lunch together. That might work. He really wanted to buy me a dress, and I think I found this BB jumpsuit that I really like. It's not technically a dress, but it's really cute. It's really cute. So maybe he can get me that. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I really need to figure out how to do is how do you do an Amazon wish list with like edibles? Not edibles as in like those kind of edibles, but like chocolate and like food stuff and like wine. Because I'm trying to like have that ready in the clip. So that when a guy wants to do like a video date, I can just already have my Amazon wish list ready. But I haven't been able to figure out how to it keeps making like an Alexa list, but not an Amazon list. Because I know like you can set up an Amazon wish list that will literally ship to you, and then the guy doesn't even get your address, which is great. He can just send you whatever is on your wish list that he wants to get you. But how do you do that for food? Is the question. One tip I heard is to meet each other's parents before introducing to your children. Yeah, that's a good one. Good one. You know, I've gotten to this place of knowing that if a man fully takes care of me, then he's going to automatically want to take care of my daughter. Like, I've just gotten to that place of just knowing that. Like, the guy that I was just explaining to y'all, like, he has done so much for my daughter. He has done so much, especially when we were kind of talking a little bit more consistently. You know, now it's kind of very sparse. We really barely talk. But when we were talking very like regularly, I mean, picture day, he would like, oh, here, like, I would be like, oh, it's picture day tomorrow, or it's picture day, let's say, like, oh, it's picture day in 2 weeks. He would be like, okay, go get her something. And he would send me a Zelle. Oh, go get her something for picture day. And then he'd give me the money to buy the pictures. Like, oh, it's school starting. He's like, oh, okay, go get her some school uniforms. You know, and I wouldn't even ask him. Like it goes both ways. Sometimes he just gives me stuff just because, and then sometimes I ask. But I don't always have to ask. He just, if I say something and he feels like he can assist with it, he'll just jump in there and just go ahead and just start assisting me, you know. Afrocentric woman, is the march still on September 25th? I heard the march was still on. Yeah, I think so. Is dating competitive? Yes, it is. Yes, it is competitive. But the main person that you're competing with is your own self, honestly. I don't mean to sound cliche. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound cliche, but it's true. The main person that you're competing with is yourself. That's the main person. As far as women is concerned, competition is more passive. It's not active competition because for example, let's say that you're beautiful. You're sitting at the bar, which girl, you ain't even old enough to be at the bar. So you ain't even at the bar. Let's say you're at the mall and you're sitting at this, somewhere in the mall, and one guy sees you and then another guy sees you, and then that guy notices that another guy's checking you out and he doesn't want to He doesn't want that guy to scoop in and start talking to you before he can get to you. So he's going to do something to position himself to get to you first. And he's going to just, not aggressively, but just assertively come up to you and try to make conversation to block the other guy. Guys are more actively competitive. Women, we're more passively competitive. Basically, you're competing against yourself. When you go out, your makeup, your outfit, your demeanor, your smile, your shoes, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself, the cadence of your voice, your tone, your laugh, your grace, your beauty, that's your competition. So you can't sit up here and actively, assertively compete with another woman, because that will push you into being masculine. You see what I'm saying? That will push you into being masculine. So the way women compete is very passive. It's very passive. The only thing that you can do to be competitive is be your very best self. Your fitness, your weight, your looks, your intellect, your conversation, you know what I'm saying? The essence of you, just be your best. And everybody's best is different, but that's really all you can do. There's nothing else that we can do to compete actively as women. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not the ones initiating a conversation with men. They're the ones initiating it with us. So just look your best, be your best, wake up and make up, and you never know when is your day. You never know when you might run into that provider guy. Just, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Let me see. I'm 75% done with my hair. I'm 75% done with my hair, but I still need to prep my nails. My gosh. I wanted to put a mask on today too, but that ain't gonna happen. Sissy says access to events can be competitive, but more subtle. Okay. Events like which ones? Which events? I wonder which events are you talking about? Which events are you talking about, Sissy? I'm going to do my nails too. Okay, look, we're about to have a self-care night. Self-care maintenance. Beauty maintenance. Ah, I know this is a does. How can I stop comparing myself to my pretty neighbor? I have difficulty comparing myself to other girls since middle school. I've struggled a lot in that. That's my inner work. Yeah. That's why I think that you're not ready to date a 50-year-old, because of that confidence and that, you know, you're transitioning from you're transitioning into womanhood, but like you still need time. You know what I'm saying? It's good that you're over here soaking up the game, because it's better get it now than later. But, you need time to develop into your womanhood. You need time. You need time to focus on yourself and, experience some things in life. I don't know if you're in college, but if you're in college, it's probably a little bit crazy with COVID right now, but I would definitely try to study abroad if you can. Try to study abroad, because leaving your environment and getting into a new environment and experiencing it, being immersed in a different culture, is definitely going to contribute to your maturity and your refinement as a young woman. Women keep out those women who they don't want in their male friends, relatives with. Really, girl? Like where? Like I'm trying to think of scenarios if that would even be feasible. Like I'm trying to think, like, what can any woman ever keep me out of that I want to do? I cannot think of anything. I can't think. I can't think of not nary a thing that I want to do right now that's on my bucket list that any woman can keep me from doing. I can't think of nary a thing. Mm-mm. And I'm thinking hard too. You're in college, online school. Okay, well that's good. See if they have any study abroad programs that you can do. Check into it. Or even if they don't host it, you can just find your own program and talk to your academic advisor to see which programs would transfer over. Or talk to student. We used to have like an international office in my college. I don't remember what they called it though. I don't remember. I really don't remember. But then all the schools, like they have, like if you have a language school connected to your college, like they have programs that they're already set up with. So that might be a good place to start. But even if they don't have any programs or you don't like the programs that they have, you can find your own. Like that's what I did. I didn't go through any of my school's study abroad. I found my own program that I liked because they were countries that I wanted to go to. And then I got the credits transferred over. Basically they'll do like an audit where you basically you show them the curriculum of like the classes that you want to take, and then and they try to find classes similar, and then that's how you get your credits to transfer over from your study abroad. I hope that the information I'm not giving is dated because I haven't been in school in a while, but that's just what I did when I was in school, because I think that study abroad for young Black women is really important. I mean, because once you have children and a mortgage and a car note and life insurance and you know what I'm saying, all these responsibilities, of course you can still travel, but it just becomes a bit more difficult. So I think that you should get all that exploration out when you are young and full of life and vibrant and you don't have any children and no real bills. Now's the time to spread your wings and explore. Well, it seems expensive. Find out how much it costs. I was helping one of my family members today on a business plan, and she's telling me, "Oh, this is so expensive. The rent is so expensive." And I'm like, well, how many square feet do you need for your business? Well, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. I'm like, well, how many square feet do you need? We literally had to go online and Google comparable businesses so that I could see exactly how many square feet that she need for her business. Then I went on to commercial real estate website and I started researching how much per square foot is the real estate going for as far as leasing commercial property. And then she found out it wasn't as expensive as she thought. And then we were able to put it on the startup cost budget sheet. We have like a financial sheet for startup costs. And I'm like, you cannot lament and tell yourself you can't do something or that something is too expensive without knowing how much it costs. Because once you have a price in mind, then you can start aligning your resources to get what you want. I think sometimes we tell ourselves no before we even know the answer. It's just like, well, maybe I need to scale back. Maybe I need to scale back. Why? Why do you need to scale back? Because this is the thing, when you have a business and your business has a mission, the mission is what it is. Like, it is what it is. You can't, there's going to be like a base level of what you need to do and what you need to have to fulfill your mission, period. Or else it's going to morph into a totally different business that you didn't even have the desire to do. And if you're not, if you don't have the desire to do it, you don't have the motivation to do it, it's not your passion, it's going to be a little bit harder to do it. Because sometimes when you're starting a new business, you need to be motivated for it. So I say all that blah, blah, blah to say, just research, go on to your college, uh, your student advisor and just ask them if they have any programs. And then just start Googling around. If there's a place that you've always wanted to visit or a language that you've always wanted to learn, then just look and see where can you go to learn the language that you'd be interested in learning. And then you can get the price. And then once you get the price, you can start aligning your resources like scholarships and grants and everything else. Because I know at my school, we had small scholarships specifically for people wanting to study abroad because the university was promoting for the students to travel because it makes the university look good. So look into it. Don't count yourself out just yet. Look into it um and see what you can see. Okay, I think I have like 3 more twists to do. I'm just doing twists straight back because I'm gonna put on a wig tomorrow, y'all. I'm putting on my wig when I go freestyling. Wigs, lashes, nails, the whole 9 yards, y'all. The whole 9 yards, the whole chicken shebang. I'm gonna do it up, baby. I've been watching a lot of makeup tutorials lately. You're welcome, Lexi. I've been watching a lot of makeup tutorials lately, just trying to, I think I do okay, but you know, it wouldn't hurt to get some new skills, and kind of try to learn some different things with makeup. So I think I want to start trying some different things with my makeup. Because lately I've been using like this blush mixed with bronzer, but I think I want to actually do the whole like, I want to learn how to do the difference between bronzer, blush, and highlighter and like layered. I didn't even know you could layer it. I didn't even freaking know that. I'm like, that's a whole something that I did not know. But yes, you can layer it and it looks really good. It looks like, yeah, it looks really good. So I want to like maybe like on a day that I really don't have anywhere to go, I'll probably just practice a little bit with that method and see if I can kind of get it to where it looks decent. And then another thing that I want to become more proficient at is liquid eyeliner and just having it look more, neat, closer to the eyelash and just neater and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to do that. How to deal with not getting anything for birthday or Christmas. From who? A dude? Or from who? Oh, congratulations on taking the class to see. That's awesome. I think that's a good little level up move. Like, why not? Take a little makeup class, learn a little tips, and zhuzh it up a little bit. Like, I think that's a great idea. I think my next move is to continue with the nutritionist and go to the dermatologist. I think my very next move is, well, I already have my treatment plan with the dentist. And then I don't know if I'm going to go to the orthodontist. You know what? Honestly, just based off of the fact that it's almost October, I'm not going to make it to the orthodontist this year. I will aim to go to the orthodontist at the beginning of next year, which actually might be better because I probably have utilized all my dental benefits anyway for this year. So I'll probably go to the orthodontist next year, early next year, but I should make it to the dermatologist this year. I should make it to the dermatologist this year. Just to kind of like zhuzh it up a little bit. See if there's anything I can do for my pores, my skin, hair growth, like just everything like that. So it's good to just continue to level up just a little bit at a time, just so that you don't get overwhelmed with the level up and just kind of know like what's your next step. So going to a makeup class is good. My mom can't afford gifts. If you can get you a part-time job, girl, buy your own gift. Girl, buy your own gift if you can. I know it's hard for y'all. I know I used to teach at this high school not like full time, but it was kind of like a tutoring gig. And I was teaching different things, but part of what I was doing was like health promotion. So when I would talk to the teenagers about healthy choices, it was really difficult for me and for them because it's like I know sometimes the teenagers wanted to be healthy, but they're not the ones grocery shopping. They're not the ones buying the food. They might be trying to do different things as far as, having a positive attitude. They might be doing different things as far as trying to, meditate or um, study or try to accomplish something but their house could be total chaos. And so when they're at school or when they're in the group session and we're talking about this and we're talking about that, they're like, yes, ma'am, that sounds good, but I'm not going to be able to do that when I go home. So, Lexi, I say all that to say that I understand how it is if you still live at home with your parents and you're trying to implement different things, you're trying to explore different things, but everything that you want to do, you might not be able to implement it. Or, you might not have a parent who is on board and supporting you. And that's challenging. And the best thing I can say is just continue to learn, try to maintain, try to avoid as much as possible, try to like stay out, and doing positive things with positive people to minimize your exposure to it, and then just keep learning until that way when you get out and you're able to get into your own environment, you will have learned a lot, so it's not in vain. Even if you can't implement everything that you're learning right now, it's not in vain because it's planting seeds for you to be able to succeed later. Just don't get caught up in the rigmarole of what other, kids might be doing that might not be positive, because if you get caught up, then you won't have an opportunity to, um, implement things for yourself because you'll be caught up in whatever, you know, something that could stagnate you. So just stay focused and level up as much as you can, working out and eating as good as food as you can, drinking a lot of water, that kind of thing. Staying on point, reaching out to mentors and career services at your school and all of that. And then before you know it, you'll be out of there. Yeah, you'll be out of there. I have gaps in my teeth and am also thinking about aligners after the dentist. Yes, like we might be on the same schedule, girl. We might be on the same schedule. Yeah, because I'm finishing up my dental medical stuff, and then by early next year, I should be able to do my ortho consultation. Now, I know I'm going to do the teeth whitening. I just don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do the teeth whitening with the ortho or with the dentist, and if I don't know if I'm going to do the whitening before the treatment. I don't know, but I want to do whitening for sure. Yeah, Sissy is telling Lexi that you have plenty of time to just learn slowly. Yeah, I think so. Like, girl, 19. I was not thinking about this at 19. I was a pick Misha at 19. Okay. I was a pick Misha when I was 19. A super pick me. Yep, because I mean, what else was I going to be? That's how I was raised. I was raised to be a pick me. That's all I ever seen. That's all I ever seen was pick me's. So yeah, I was a pick me too. I definitely didn't know anything about leveling up. I definitely didn't know anything about hypergamous dating or dating up, leveled up dating, luxury dating. I didn't know anything about that. I wasn't connected to any groups of older women that could, kind of guide me in that area. So these ladies today who have access to this information at an earlier age are at a huge advantage. Huge. I live with a struggling single mother. You know what my solution was, Lexi? My solution was to get the fuck out of there. I left the house at 18 years old and I ain't been back. So, I know everybody is not about that life. And I pretty much kind of like raised myself a little bit. So I've always been really independent because I was a latchkey kid. Back in the 90s, I was a latchkey kid. I did a lot of things on my own, and I was very independent. I started working at a very young age. So I knew by the time I was like 15 or 16 years old, I knew that I was going to leave the house as soon as possible. I didn't know why I wanted to get away from my mother. Now I do know why. I understand fully why I had a deep desire to get away from her. But then I really didn't know. I think then I was kind of more focused on, oh, I want to explore. I want to go to a different school out of state. So, I mean, I had just made up my mind. I'm leaving as soon as I can. My mom tried to convince me to stay to go to a local school because I did get accepted into a local school, and she was like, "Well, if you stay, I'll get you this and I'll get you a new car and blah blah blah." Basically, just trying to like bribe me to stay. And I was like, "No, you can keep the car." She's like, "Well, if you go out of state, you can't take your car." I was like, "Okay, you can keep it. I don't need a car. I just want to get away from you." Like I didn't say that, but I was like, "That's fine. You can keep the car. I don't, I got a car when I was 15 years old. So that was my second car. By the time I was 18, I was already on my second car. Yeah, that was I was like, was that my third car? No, that was my second car. So she's like, well, you can't take the car. And I'm like, okay, we'll keep it. And she was like, dang, you really do want to go? Yep, pretty much. Because she knows I like my car. But I didn't care. I was like the drama of that house, the chaos. I just didn't want to be there. So I burned rubber out of that house. I'm not saying do that because I don't know what your skill level is and I don't even know anything. But that was just my solution to my problem was to leave. So I went and I lived on campus out of state. So I would come home like maybe between 1 to 3, if possible. But it is healthier. Years later, we actually have a good relationship. That's good. Save a bit of money before moving out, but do plan to leave. Yeah. Yeah, I think I had a better relationship with my mom for a while. But, once she started getting back into her like deep pick me ways, I just had to leave out. I just had to kind of leave her where she was. I think that I was at a place of just making excuses for her behavior and then I stopped doing it. I stopped making excuses. And once I stopped making excuses, I didn't want to be around her. I didn't want to be around her. So we don't really, I mean, it's cordial, but we don't really like talk or anything. you know, we don't, nope, we don't talk like that. Nope, nope, nope. I keep my distance. My baby is sleep talking. I don't know if y'all can hear her. My poor little baby, she talks in her sleep. Little sweet angel. And she and her talking. I'm like, I want to see what she's saying. Oh, I live quite a ways from my mom. But I'll tell you what really was like kind of broke the camel's back. So I do live in a different town from my mother. Um, I can count on one hand how many times she's been to my house. Maybe give her 6 times. No, probably, yeah, probably one hand that she's been to my place. And her complaint was, I live so far. Oh my God, I live so far. Whoop de whoop de whoop whoop whoop. I live so far. I live so far. Okay, granted. Okay, I live so far. She meets this Dusty Tyrone, and he lives about 17 miles east of me. So she got to pass my place in order to get to Tyrone. Come to find out, by the time I found out she was dealing with Tyrone, she had already been dealing with Tyrone for like 6 months or something. So for 6 months, she got into her car and passed my house and never thought, oh, let me stop by to see my daughter. Let me stop by to say hello. Let me stop by to see my grandchild. No. And she don't have no complaints about getting to Tyrone's house. No complaints. She'll gladly drive the distance and without complaining. Because Tyrone to go to her house. She go to Tyrone's house. Tyrone, he like to be comfortable in his own place. So she go over there. And one time I went over there, she was cooking and cleaning. Like she was cooking a whole damn like brisket and greens. This lady is cooking a whole effing meal for this Tyrone. She had been over there cleaning up. And I'm like, if this ain't a pick me, I don't know what is. If this ain't a M and effing pick me, I don't know what is. What has this man done for you? Can he pay your mortgage? Can he pay your car note? Can he do anything for you? Why are you like, she think it's a privilege to be over there doing all that. And I knew, I was like, oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I can't with you. I can't. I can't with you and I won't. Because you showed me how you feel about me when you passed my place to get to Tyrone. You didn't think to call me. You didn't think to stop by one day like, oh, let me see my daughter and maybe have a cup of tea with her for 30 minutes to an hour. Oh, let me take my granddaughter to the park and spend a little bit of time with her since I'm already got to pass their house twice. No, she didn't. And will still complain about coming over here. Even when she was coming to Tyrone's house and I didn't even know it, she would have me meet her halfway to get my daughter. She wouldn't even come over here to pick her up. Now, if Tyrone called, she'll do whatever for him. But she will not for her own child, for me. So I just had to be like, you know what, ma'am? I'm just going to focus on myself and you do you because I can't with you. And all this that you have going on, I can't. I can't and I won't. And I don't have to. Like, I'm not obligated to do shit but live my life. Like, I don't owe you anything. I think that's like one of the biggest things Black women problem. Like, they think that they owe their parents for being born. Like, you're in debt to your parents for being born. It's like, no. Your parents are the ones who decided to have you. You didn't decide. They decided. You don't owe them anything. They're the ones who are supposed to be, trying. They're the ones who are supposed to be trying to accommodate you. You're the child, no matter how you feel, they're a child. Not the other way around. So, yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I can't with the pick me ways. That's just too much. It's too effing much. Okay, I got 2 more twists. I'm on the second one and then I have one more. So I guess that technically means, well, no, then I still have to take this polish off my nails. What else do I have going on? Yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to decide about these trips and how I'm going to maneuver them. But I definitely want to do them and just do back-to-back dates like I did the last time. Because everything from the last city that I was in, everything has pretty much dried up. I had one more guy that I was talking with, but he was the one who wanted me to do video and he didn't want to send anything. So um, everything from that city is pretty much dried up. So I'm on to the next city. I'm on to the next city. And it's some interesting conversations. One guy said he wanted to do like a spa day and dinner. He basically wanted to monopolize my whole day. But if he want to take me to the spa, he is welcome to monopolize my whole day. So we go to the spa, we do different treatments, and then we go out to dinner. I think it could be a winner. So I just need to organize myself um, to get out there. And I was thinking about October, but November might actually be better. November might actually be the better time to go. I'm gonna see. I feel like things in my city are a little bit dried up. I'm taking a break. Maybe by the time I switch my app back to my own city, maybe by then, candidates on there. Because there was one guy who matched with me. He's like one of the I don't swipe on black guys anymore. So he was like one that was like a holdover from like a couple weeks ago. And he refused to call me on the app. Like he wanted me to call him on his phone. That's how black men are. They're so entitled. This man wanted me to call him on his phone. Text me and call me. He's like, well, I haven't heard from you. I haven't heard from you. And I kept telling him, I feel more comfortable talking on the app first. And he was like, well, you have my number. I haven't heard from you. And then I didn't say anything. And I was like, well, are you available now? I'm thinking so that you can talk on the app. And he unmatched me. That's fine. Now I'm not matched with any black guys. He was the last one. And he unmatched himself. I did not unmatch him. He unmatched himself, just for the record. For a free week, do you recommend freestyling or planning dates? Hell to the yes. Yes, ma'am, I do. I recommend that you do both. I would try to freestyle and have scheduled dates. Get as many dates as you possibly can. And then if you can carve out some time to freestyle, that would be great. But abso-freaking-lutely. All you have to do is change your app to travel mode to wherever you're going for a business trip. And then once you start matching with guys, just let them know, hey, I'm here, but I'm going to be in town at this day for business. My company does business here a lot. So I'm in town, quite a bit, blah, 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 blah. Because sometimes guys don't want to like get too invested if like they feel like you're just going to drop in and never come back. So you kind of have to give them some hope. Date, and then from there you in there. Gosh, I was talking to one of my family members the other day about, she was like, it's having so many different textures of hair, it's hard to wear certain styles. And I'm like, girl, I have like 5 textures of hair, so I understand. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that freestyling over the weekend. You're welcome. You're welcome. Shoot, let me know how you are. Are you in the Discord? Because if you are, I would love to hear about like your experience with your out of town dates. You can keep me posted. Because I would love to hear some updates from y'all. Like I would love to hear like if y'all implement something and it works, and how it goes, what you've learned, lessons learned, those kind of things. I would love to hear from y'all. Oh, you don't use Discord? Okay. Yeah, I decided to do Discord instead of a Facebook group because Facebook really does a lot of censorship, a lot of censorship. So I didn't even want to make a Facebook group. Patreon is a little bit complicated for me. Patreon is a little bit complicated, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do an email list. I don't know. Well, you can email me at theafrocentricwoman@gmail.com. You can email me. But in addition to that, I might be making a mailing list where I can kind of like send out a notification when I'm about to go live because YouTube be playing around with the notifications. I could send out an email to let y'all know that I'm about to go live because I try to post it in the Discord sometimes, but I don't remember all the time. I'm going to try the schedule of Tuesday evenings to go live, like every Tuesday evening. I don't know if that's going to be sustainable. Like Tuesday right now is the only day that we don't have a sport. However, my little one wanted to be in tumbling and dance again. So I don't know if Tuesday is going to get eaten up by another activity. I don't know. Okay, let me type it. Afrocentric woman at gmail.com. Afrocentric. Okay, I think that's right. That's my email address. So you can email me and let me know how things are going. Let me know like just updates. I'd like to hear, if anything's working, like any of the tactics, if any of them are working, if you've been able to implement them in your dating life, especially with the initial conversations. Because I think that, from some of the other ladies that I talked to, that was like one of the biggest hurdles that they weren't able to get to the actual date because things were never progressing out of the chit chat phase. So, I've shared a lot of different ways to get the date, and I want to know if anything has been helpful to you ladies, as far as like getting a date is concerned. I'm on my last twist. Yay. I'm about to put some more of this castor oil on my hair with the rosemary, some more leave-in conditioner. And take this polish off so I'll have one less thing to do tomorrow. And then tomorrow I got to be rocking and rolling and rolling and rocking so that I can get my little one all the way on the side of town with her grandma. And then I'm going to come back on my side of town and get ready to head up north to go kick it in freestyle. Oh, you're welcome. Smiles for you. You are welcome. I have some more lives that I'm going to be scheduling out for November, for the rest of October and November. I'll try to schedule them out on Tuesdays for the most part. But I think like I'll try to stick to Tuesdays. Like today's like a bonus day. Like I'll try to do like bonus or, like random, but at least I can have at least something consistent that you ladies can depend on. Like, okay, every Tuesday she's going to go live. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm moving on to nails. Moving on to nails. Yeah, I'm really curious to know how that lady fell for that Dusty. There's levels to this. Like what I've learned, interfacing in different groups online about what they call hypergamy. Y'all barely will hear me say hypergamy. Y'all will barely hear me say hypergamy just because I feel like it don't mean nothing no more. Some people, hypergamy means just getting in a relationship, period. For some people, hypergamy means him doing the bare minimum, like paying for dates, or at least some of them. Like, in other words, their reference point is so dusty and destitute that a guy simply paying 50-50 to them feels hypergamous. Then you have your women who are waiting on a mythical high value black man. Their definition of high value is very different from our definition of high value, or rather, a quality man or a wealthy man. Like, a guy could have a $80,000 job working for the cable company. To many women, he's high value. And they're satisfied with that. They're like, ooh, yay. Because he doesn't like make $10 an hour. He's high value to her. There's some women who are just looking for a sugar daddy. There's some women who confuse sugar daddy for tricks. And then there's, so what I learned is like there's such a mixed bag. It's just, there's not any one, there's not any one thing that people are looking for. So when you get into the groups, and it will be like hypergamy this or hypergamy that, and there'll be pick-me's in there. Because those pick-me's are in the group to try to find out ways to lure their dusty back to them. They're trying to figure out how to get the dusty back, how to control the dusty, how to get the dusty to stop cheating on them, how to keep the dusty from leaving them and coming back, and leaving them and coming back, or giving them problems, and, all the things that dusty men do. They're not in there to actually do level up dating. So yeah, I had to kind of learn that along the way, that, people we're not all the same page, even if we're in the same group. Because I remember meeting one lady in my city, and I was so surprised that she listened to Kitten Hills. And I was so surprised because he's the antithesis of hypergamy, right? And I was like, well, what are you getting from it? And she's like, well, he tells the truth sometimes. I said, about what? Well, about some women think that they're all that and they're not. And I'm like, okay, well, what else are you getting from the streams? Well, he's just telling the truth. And I think it's good to hear both sides. Both sides. What side is he? Because in my landscape of life, he doesn't represent a side. He's nowhere represented in my everyday life. Like, those type of males are nowhere in sight. If anything, they're service providers, for something I'm doing, but those guys are not in my life. So what do you mean both sides? Another thing that some women are doing. Some women are trying to get to little temporary bags, and they think that eventually, like, in other words, they think that they're going to eventually be with a dusty and help build him up and do like a 50-50 life. They want a man their own age. They don't mind if he doesn't make that much. They don't mind. They just want an attractive man around their own age that they're going to build with, and they're going to build up. So they're dating temporarily a certain way, but they're not committed to marrying a man of means. They're not committed to being long term. They're thinking like, one day I'm going to go back and get a dusty. And that same woman who listened to Kitten Hills, she was like basically buying time until she goes and finds a dusty. And it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Wow, that those types of women are actually roaming around us. We think we're all the same. We think that we have all this in common, but we really don't. We don't have that in common, because I'm never going back to a dusty. I have no desire for that. In fact, it repulses me. And I'm only aroused by resources. At this point, I've literally trained myself that I don't even get He can be as fine as he want to be. Like he can be so fine, fine as wine, fine as frog hair. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't feel any reaction. The only thing that really arouses me and makes me perk up and pay attention is money. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all, folks. Maybe I've just reprogrammed my brain. Like that's really all that attracts me. A man's ability to take care of me. If you can take care of me, I'm interested in you. If you can't take care of me, I'm not interested in you. Simple as that. So it really blew my mind that there are some women who are in this for some type of temporary situation, but they're not committed for the long haul. You know, they think that ultimately they're going to be with a Dusty anyway. And they're like, well, I just don't see how you can do it. Girl, I don't see how you can do it. So I guess we just don't see eye to eye because you don't see how I could be with an older provider. I don't see how you can be with a Dusty. You know, but to each their own. Like if that's what you value, then that's what you value. I just, it's like, I guess it's the age old judging a book by its cover. You know, I've judged women by the cover. If you're in the level up dating group, I'm assuming that you're trying to level up and date and marry up. Why else are you here? But there are women in the mix for different reasons. Everybody's not there for the same thing. And I just had to kind of understand that. And it's like, once I talk to women and I really start to get their information, like there's one woman who she just couldn't get a date, couldn't get a date to this date, couldn't get a date, can't get a date. And I'm like, I'm turning guys down left and right for dates because I have my daughter, I got this and that, whoop de whoop de woo. But you don't have any children. Why aren't you going out 2 and 3 or 4 times a week? Well, the problem was she was only interested in dating a 40 something year old black man. She's a dark skinned black woman. Girl, they do not want you. They don't want you. They don't want you. So that's why you're not going out on dates. That's the problem. You need to change your preferences. You need to open it up. If you would open it up, you too would be having a lot of dates, but you don't like, in other words, you're not trying to level up date. You're wait. What's really happening is that you're looking for a unicorn black man. That's what you're doing, but you don't want to just say that. I'm waiting for a special black man. Just say that. Because if you were interested in dating, you would be dating. There's all kinds of men that would be attracted to a fit, dark-skinned black woman. But you're not giving those guys a shot. You're just waiting on a special black man. So just say that. Same. It's all about the money, honey, amongst other things, of course, but that's number one. Yeah, that's number one because you have to get that out the way. Once you get the money out of the way and you know that you're taken care of, then you can relax and you get to be fun and feminine and sensual and everything else. But I cannot relax until all the business is taken care of. Like where I'm gonna be, I can't be, you know, sensual and the rent ain't paid, and an eviction notice is on the door. How you gonna get in the mood when you ain't got no food in the refrigerator? How you gonna be in the mood when you don't have the bills are not paid? So that's number one is the finances and the business. And then once that's secured, then you get to relax. You don't relax and then worry about the business later. That's where how so many women get caught up. That's how so many women get, in bad situations when they're, and that's another thing. There's some women in level up dating looking for love primarily. In other words, they're looking for love, companionship, and connection more than they're looking for a man with resources. So it's like, sis, why are you here? There are like 1,000 pick me groups that you can join. Like I love my blackking.com, 50/50, central build a Barbara the builder, .com. Like Go to one of those places where you can get with this thing that you're looking for. Because over here, we're trying to get to the bag. We're trying to get to the business aspect of things first before we do all the lovey dovey stuff. So if you're primarily looking for lovey dovey, why are you here? Why are you here? This is not the place for you. And it's like, I don't want to sound harsh because a lot of the other ladies in the group, they can be a lot more harsh than me. They can. But I am a little bit, my tongue can be a little bit cutting when it's like that because it's like, why are you here? Because that is not the purpose of this group. We are not here to hold your hand while you sort things out with your dusty. This is not the place for that. This is a place for women who are wanting to connect with men of means that want to do level up dating for the purposes of long-term companionship or marriage. That's why we're here. Why are you here? I'm sorry, I don't believe in unicorn black men. They don't exist. And even if they do, they're literally wearing a unicorn mask. Smiles for you. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. At this point in my life, I don't have the time to even sift through them. I just don't have the time. I have not been out with a black guy, a new one. Well, actually, I had the guy from Kenya. He took me, was that in May? I think that was May. Or was it April? I don't remember. I don't remember what month it was, but he was the one that took me to the boat ride. He took me to the boat ride. We went to this winery, and our first date was lunch. So he got my car fixed, and then we got to this point where, well, he took me to the mall too to go to Sephora, and then he was like, well, I want you to stay over and this and this and that. And I was like, well, basically, these bills though, I was like, can you really afford a girlfriend right now? Because, I don't want to project anything on you or assume anything. I just want to be, open communication. Can you afford a girlfriend? Because this is what, I require of my boyfriend. This is what I need from my future boyfriend. And he was like, well, he offered me 1/3 of what I asked for, but I had already given him what? Of my total bills, I only gave him 1/3 of it. So basically, he was like a third of a third. And I was like, no, that's not enough. No, I can't do it. Like, I can't, because I already told you a third. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere to go down from what I already told you. So that is the bare minimum that I would need from my boyfriend. That's just the bare minimum that I could do, that I would feel protected or whatever. And he was like, basically, I don't know. I basically told him, good luck with your business. Maybe, you never know how things could turn around. You just never know. And then I didn't hear from him for a while. And he's like, hey, you haven't heard from me. And I was like, yeah, I just figured you were probably hustling in your business, given our last conversation. I figured you were probably just trying to hustle and do what you needed to do. And he was just like, oh, yeah, I've been. I'm like, okay, well, he already knows what it is. So if he was ready to go to the next level, then he would have just let me know, basically, you know. So that is what it is. So African American, the last African American I've dated was February, or hold on, no, because I got that in April. So April. No. March. Marchish. March/February is the last, because I was dating like two African American guys. They kind of overlapped each other. One of them I met last year, and I kept in touch with him, and we went on a few dates in 2021. And then the other guy I met in 2021. but one of them wanted Barbara the Builder, and he told me he wanted somebody to build with him, and I told him I am not the one. I do not build. I do not build with men. I do not break my nails. And I said, furthermore, you're 51 or 57. Why aren't you built up already? Why do you need me to build you? Why do you need a woman in her 30s to build you up and you're in your 50s, damn near 60? So that was our last conversation. And then with the other guy, I told him that I love flowers and I would love to have some flowers on our next date. He showed up to the date empty handed. And I mentioned the flowers again. And then the third date, he showed up again empty handed. And I basically told him, I was like, what are you going to do to resolve this? And he was like, he was just bloop, 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 blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of yabba dabba, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, go to the florist right now, get the flowers and bring them back. That's the solution. I don't want to hear this yabba dabba, blah, blah, blah. I just want you to resolve the issues. You promised me flowers, and where are they? Basically. And then he just started barraging me with these long, drawn out text messages. He invited me to Jamaica. He invited me to Aruba. I was like, no, no, I'm not. If you can't provide me with flowers in our local city, what makes you think that I would entrust myself with you in another country? No, sir. I'm not going nowhere with you. So I declined that. I declined that. And then he did end up giving me money for a massage, which was really the least he could do after he stressed me the hell out about the other stuff. And then I ended up getting sick, and he offered to send me Amazon Fresh, and he never did. And when he finally got around to calling me, I was like, hey, I was still homesick. What happened to the groceries? And he was like, oh, my friends were over here and I got distracted. He didn't even apologize. He just seemed like his attitude was just kind of like, I don't care. I know that in other words, just not honoring his word. I know that I told you that I would do something for you, but I just didn't do it. And so, oh, well, let's just move on. And I'm just not that kind of woman. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, you're not even apologetic as to what you did. And so then he went on this blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Okay. So I think I blocked him. I blocked him because that was just totally unacceptable to me. He matched me. He made a new profile for the dating app that I met him on, and he matched me again. And so when he matched me, I was like, hey, so what's new? What do you have to offer? Basically. And he was like, I want to take you out. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're going to basically have to buy me a dress and some new shoes and maybe get my whatever else done because, you really left on a bad note. And that's what it's going to take to get back into my good graces, basically. And he was like, I'm an alpha male. I'm an alpha male. I was like, bye, block. You better alpha your ass on some damn work because I'm not here for the bullshit. Listen, anytime a man ever does me dirty and he wants to come back in my life, it's expensive. You gonna pay. So it's better that you just do right the first time, because if ever you do me dirty, you do something foul, you're gonna have to pay. If you don't want to pay the cost to come back, then just stay gone. And honestly, it's a way to protect myself. Like there was this one guy who stood me up, basically, um, not like whole like straight up stood me up, but he canceled at the very last minute. At the very last minute, I was able to salvage it and either go on another date or freestyle. I don't remember what I did, but the fact that he did that, it really and that dinner was supposed to make up for other things. So it's like you mess up the makeup dinner. So I was like, listen, give me this bag. He's like, well, I want to make it up to you. I was like, well, buy me this bag. It was like a Versace bag. I was like, buy me this bag and I'll talk to you. He was like, well, no, he was like, I was like, buy me a bag and I'll talk to you. He's like, okay, that's fine. We'll go to the store. I'll buy you a bag. I was like, no, buy it online, ship it to my house, or buy it, we pick it up in the store. And he's like, well, that's fine, but have lunch with me first and then we'll get the bag. Guys will do that. Guys will always try to get what they want first from you before you get it. So you just have to stay committed and stay focused. I'm like, no, 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 no. I was like, let's get the bag first and then we do lunch. He was like, that's fine. And I was like, well, I'm gonna send you the bag. It's like it's only $1,000. He was like, oh, $1,000. No, 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 no. Yeah, it's $1,000. Buy me the bag and I'll talk to you. But if I'm not talking to you if you don't have this bag in your hand. Because listen, if I don't make your fuck up expensive, what is the incentive for you not to do it again? What's the incentive? What's the incentive? You need to understand that if you stand me up, you cancel at the last minute for frivolous reasons, that there's a cost associated to that. There's a cost. So you should think twice before you do me dirty. Think twice about it. Solutions, not expensive, not excuses. Yes, build, I don't build. Full of ish. Black men are good for standing up. They really think that they can just come back empty handed. Nope. Yeah, I don't allow that. I don't allow that from white men, Latino men, Asian men, Indian men. I treat all men the same. All men the same. I'm not going to let the black guy get away with it. I don't grade on a curb. I don't, this, oh, he's white and I want a white man. Oh, I'll let him get away with murder. No, 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 no. You pay, you pay, you pay, you pay. You all pay. Okay. I get you. Oh, you're going to wine and dine me, period. I mean, I just literally accept that. I expect the same thing from all of them. Any man that is going to be in my life and that's going to be, any man that's going to be in my life and that's going to be extracting my feminine energy, they're going to have to pay. You're going to have to invest. I need to see effort and I need to see resources being invested into me. That's just the bottom line. And if a guy messes up, that means that there's a cost to come back. And the worse the offense, the more expensive it's going to be for him. Some things you just can't come back from. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just no amount of money in the world. But what I might do just to be petty or just to be, uh, calculated, I might know good and damn well I'm not going to forgive you and I don't want you back. But that don't mean that I won't accept the gift though. I might still you can still pay me for my pain, even if I don't want you back. You can still pay me for my pain. Yeah, he totally stood me up. He canceled at the very last minute. Supposedly, I don't know why, girl. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. Yeah, it don't even matter. All right, y'all. A good morning. We done went from the evening to the morning, y'all. We done went to the evening to the morning. Thank you for hanging out with me while I did my hair and my nails. And we had some good girl talk. So, some of y'all have my email, y'all have my Instagram, so that we can, if you have anything personal nature, you can message me privately and we can talk then. All right, y'all. Peace and love. Good night / good morning.